Good morning, Eastbourne. Patrick here again, live from Complete Health, and just wanted to talk about probably a topic that's really close to home because I personally have a partner that struggled with this for a really long time, and is now something that is almost non-noticeable in her life, which actually, funny enough, makes every aspect of both our lives more enjoyable. And that's headaches, and why posture is linked to headaches, and how your posture could be causing you headaches, and some of the main muscles and tissues that are involved with headaches. So headaches, that basically constitutes any pain that's really up in your head, around your eyes, around your neck, your shoulders, over the top of the scalp. And pain is considered a sensation that is both unpleasant and uncomfortable, whether that's with or without tissue damage. Now, posture is very heavily linked in, or something I see linked in with headaches, because some of the main causes of headaches seem to come around the neck and the shoulders. So some of the main things that I will see personally with headaches is this rounding and tension in the upper back, neck, and shoulders. Typically with people that are spending way too much time on mobile phones, computers, sitting at desks, etc., etc., etc. So even maybe sitting in a car, basically sitting or looking down at objects for long periods of time starts to trigger the tissues around our neck and shoulders and can start to actually trigger headaches. Now, which are the main muscles that are involved with headaches, and what can you do about that today in order to actually start aiding that process? Now, there are really three areas that I would probably have a look at. The posterior aspect of the neck. Now, these are probably your main triggers as to where your headaches actually come from, especially around the trapezius and the posterior part of the neck, especially underneath the occiput. If you look at the muscles in those areas, they're really heavy in actually triggering the headache. So if you squeeze your shoulder when you have a headache, sometimes you'll actually find that your headache will start to intensify. If that's the case, that's normally the muscle that is triggering your headache. Now, it's not to say that that's the cause, but it's a factor in the headache. So say, for example, like I say, if our head starts to go forward, which is involved with our posture, what starts to happen is the weight of our head starts to increase. And this starts to put stress on the muscles around the posterior aspect of the shoulders, especially the trapezius and suboccipitals. And this starts to make them go really tight. And it's that tightness in those muscles that starts to trigger the headaches and the migraines. Now, if you can work on releasing those muscles, you can actually start to see a significant reduction in the headaches and the migraines. Now, ironically, you don't necessarily do this just by doing massage or soft tissue on the muscles. What you actually want to do is reposition the head so the head does not weigh as much, and as a result, takes the stress off of the tissues around the back of the shoulders. So that's tissue number one that's involved with headaches. Tissue number two is the sensitive nerves that are sitting down the side of the neck. Now, again, when the head starts to go forward, we start to put excessive strain and stretch on those nerves. But also what we can start to do is degenerate our joints, which can actually start to squash our nerves, especially over the posterior aspect of the head of the ones that are coming up over the top. So again, if you squash these nice sensitive nerves, again, they can start to trigger your headaches as well. And again, the solution is very simple. It's not necessarily releasing the nerves, but repositioning the head. If we can reposition the head, we can start to actually create that change as well. Now, ironically, the last area that I would say that is involved is the discs and the joint spaces. Now, what we know about the facets, this is the posterior aspect of the joint capsule, they can start to create pain that actually can refer both down and up. Especially when we start looking at C2-3, what we can get is this occipital-based headache, so this base around the base of the skull. You can start to get headaches from there, and they start to refer up. So if the joints are starting to degenerate or not move properly, we get scar tissue in the joint, and that scar tissue can actually start to create a lack of movement and stiffness, and that stiffness over time, if it gets serious enough, will start to create friction, and as a result, degeneration and pain. If we start to see that pain start to increase, that pain can spread out from the joint and, like I say, can either refer up or down from the neck. So some people will actually get pain referring down from the neck, some people get pain referring up from the neck. The reality of it is true for all three of these different areas. For all three of these different areas, the muscles, the nerves, and the joints, they're all improved by improving the position of your spine. Now, if you're working on your posture, great. If you don't know how to do that, what I would really seriously suggest is jumping over to our YouTube channel. There is the basic information on actually how to start correcting that by yourself. But if you're really, really struggling and you're noticing serious changes in your posture and you can't fix it, it's the time to look at a professional, because when we're progressing through those stages of degeneration, it's a one-way street. Degeneration is a one-way street. So if we're degenerating our spine, it takes a seriously long time to reverse those processes. So it's always super important to catch those things as early as possible. So if you're starting to notice some changes in your posture, starting to notice some neck and shoulder pain, starting to notice some headaches, sort it out as early as possible, because the quicker you sort that out, the easier it's going to be to fix long term. Morning, Tiago. How are we doing? You just caught me at the end, so I'm going to post this up now so you can rewatch it in a minute. All right. So if you're noticing any headaches, like I say, jump over to our YouTube channel. That's Complete Health Eastbourne, and we've got loads and loads of information on how you can actually start to correct your posture over there as well. Take care and see you tomorrow.